was before the bell. Podcast slamming all comers. Bloodlines, hot thighs, yeah, no runners. Boys, Martin J is CT. Yeah. Laid out for the count. 1, 2, 3. Before the bell podcast. Before the bell podcast.
Oh, it's true. It's true. We are the World Heavyweight Champions of Wrestling podcast, none other than the Before the Bell podcast. I'd like to introduce myself. I am none other than one of the 3 co-hosts, Martin Morrow, a.k.a. your Olympic gold medalist, Mark Mangle. Here are some of my nearest and dearest friends who like to show my 3 M's, which is maliciousness, mindfulness, and motivation. To my right is none other than the urban gladiator himself, Mr. Jay Washington. Jay, how you doing, buddy?
I'm a little bit
excellent. And to the right of Jay is the main event himself, CT. CT, how you doing, buddy?
Incredible.
Love it. And we also have a very special guest who needs almost no introduction.
You don't know who I
Yo. Yo.
He's a comedian, and he does a lot of other great things, all the way from Detroit. Give it up for Mr. K-Mac.
Yeah. Yo, that's the most petty.
Martin's the petty one.
That was disrespectful.
Needs almost no introduction.
I didn't know if you had 3 in you, and you did it, man. You did it. 3 promos back to back, boy. Different. Respect.
Hey, that's how you become a Olympic gold medalist right there.
Shout out to the bell ringers. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. Thank you for the super chats. As you're watching, as you know, significant amounts of super chats get us to stop the show, and thank you personally. And from that point, let's jump straight in, man. Monday Night Raw, we saw Bron Breakker get his 4th different music change for theme song.
You notice that? I'm like, yo, they can't figure it out with this dude.
They
like,
know it was trash.
No.
But it's at this point, just go back to the original.
Right.
Go back to the original. Or look, if y'all gonna he's doing the Frankensteiner, just give him his uncles or version of his uncles.
Well, I think it just needs sirens, dogs, and get them whatever drums that what's them boys' name? Def Rebel.
Yeah.
Whatever drums they keep using, please get them a new drum kit.
Yeah,
That's
they
all
use they use the same 3 packages.
They love them electric drums.
His entrance music needs to start with like something jolting.
That's what I'm saying. These something.
You know, you've got the Stone
sirens.
Cold glass break. You've got the Stone Cold. If you smell, I think he just needs like maybe like a big bark or something to start it off.
I'm not mad at that.
So everybody knows what's coming.
I'm not mad at the big bark.
Did it have it? Didn't it have the bark at one point?
So at one point, it started with the sirens into the barking.
Right.
But here's what I would do. You know that like weird noise he makes? Like, ah! I'd have it started with that. I'd have it do that.
Wait, what's the noise?
Ah! When he does that noise. And
Like
his
his uncle?
Yeah.
Holla if you're hearing me. That.
Just that.
And then
you're like, oh.
and then the music would start.
Yeah.
So the entire arena would just hear and then go nuts.
Yes.
Okay.
That's wild.
Oh, it's Bron Breakker.
Yeah. The Breakensteiner is a great name for Frankensteiner.
Yes.
But at the same time, I feel like because he was going against Dragunov. Dragunov is an incredible talent, but the way they keep making him lose is making him look weak.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have this dude who takes this massive. He'll take all his beating from everybody.
Yeah.
We've seen it through his NXT UK run to NXT to here. He takes this massive beating, and you think he'll eventually come out on top.
Right.
But it's like, oh, he's just going to eat this pin.
Keeps eating the pin,
He's
man.
going to eat this pin. Okay, cool. So what's the point of this Mad Dragon thing?
If it's not going to benefit him at all.
Well, I will say, I feel like it's more so been him just losing to Bron Breakker. Like, he was beating Ricochet left and right.
He lost to Jey Uso.
Yeah,
he did.
True, yeah.
He's put on great performances, but he's lost.
Yeah.
And Bron Breakker is my guy. Like, I'm a fan of Bron Breakker, but he need to stop getting that haircut so low, man.
Well, if you're gonna run Dragunov through kind of the same match process that you did with like Daniel Bryan, where it was like you put him in there with big dudes and he just gets beat and beat and beat, and then eventually he pulls off a submission out of nowhere.
Yeah.
If you're going to run him through the same process, you have to give him wins over big people every once in a while.
Also, and I agree with you, I think there's something to be said about Dragunov's moveset.
Mm-hmm.
The Constantine special, the way he's got to go hit the rope, all this. There's too much time and separation. Again, this is me pulling the curtain back. it should flow smoother.
Mhm.
There's too much separation between the dude at the other end of the ropes from him hitting, spinning all the way around, then coming back. It's like I don't believe it anymore.
I agree.
I don't believe it. So there's things, if you want to make this dude, if you're gonna do this submission thing, if you're gonna do anything, you got to tighten him up.
Mhm.
I get he's putting on these performances where you're like, oh, he's taking his beat. Like I said, he's taking a beating.
He hit that side of that ring pretty hard. the other day.
Bro, I thought he was gone.
I say, oh, you ever see something on TV? We were like, oh, like I couldn't believe that happened.
We took
to
that
him, but-
spear, bro. I was like, woo!
Let me
It's-
ask you this. Do you think
yeah.
it's too late to bring back squash matches for a dude like Ilia? Like
For
if you,
Ilia,
if you brought in like some guy, like this is a local dude from Madison, Wisconsin, and then just have Ilia beat him in 2 minutes.
are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
You know, we have not seen the reverse squash match, which is a little guy destroying big local talent.
Ooh.
I want to see that for Dragunov.
But here, this is the problem. I agree, I hear where you're going,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't use big local talent for a reason.
Why?
Because most big local talent is bigger than some of the guys on the roster.
No, but that's what you want if you're
Yeah.
going to build his credibility back.
Yeah.
Think how many if they came to LA and they were like, hey, yo, Urban Gladiator, we need you to take this L to Dragunov.
First of all,
You going to say no?
I'm gonna say yes.
Exactly.
However, we're going to, me and this little white boy going to have a discussion. When you drop this forearm on the side of my face, I'm gonna need you to pull back just a wee bit.
Well, it's going to be on your chest.
If you can catch it right, because he be really going.
I
Just
think
eat
the
it,
problem with the whole Dragunov thing is that they've already billed him kind of like through NXT as a giant killer, and then they took him to the main roster and they had all their giants killing him. So it's like you can't bill him both ways.
Hey guys, whose fault is that? I'm talking to you, bell ringers. Whose fault is it? Because everybody keeps talking about now how Triple H doesn't know what he's doing with certain talent that's now off the roster. And he was an NXT guy under Shawn Michaels, who you all love. So what's happening? Whose fault is this?
Well, go ahead, Mark, because I
gonna say-
know it's time.
Do you know how racist it would look like if Ilia came in and beat Omos and then beat Odyssey Jones just for a week? You're like, wait a minute. What is happening? Like Triple H really don't mess with us.
Obafemi?
Yeah.
Oh.
He just destroys Obafemi. You be like, oh.
Bobby Lashley and MVP which in the same sentence they should not be. Like MVP, bam. Bobby Lashley, bam. They were part of the stable, but let's keep their accomplishments separate. When you talk about Bobby Lashley, you're talking about a former 2-time WWE champion.
Mhm.
And then you have MVP, who's an incredible manager. He's a former US champion. Great all-around talent, but Bobby Lashley is a major loss for the WWE, man. And to see him gone, it's like he never got out of the blocks after Vince left.
Although it hasn't been confirmed yet that he's officially gone.
It's just he's off the internal roster. They do that a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's go ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
think that would if I'm Triple H, that's someone who I angle to like, hey, what can we do to get you back
Yeah.
in some capacity?
But also, with that, to add on to that, what can we do? And we'll work this out. We'll figure out the story. We'll figure out the angle wherever we're gonna run it. But for as long as everybody knows and thinks, you're off this roster.
Right.
So when you pop back up, it's like there's no promos, there's no vignettes. It's out of nowhere. Who the hell? It's Bobby Lashley. Because he's never had that moment.
Never.
He has never had a surprise out of nowhere return where you're like, oh my God, it's Bobby Lashley. Because at this moment, this is the perfect time to do that with him because the pop he would get would be immense. Now, it's not going to be a SummerSlam thing. It could be a Survivor Series, but it's got to be some time because you've got to build up that anticipation.
Let's hear it.
Can I give you a crazy pitch?
I would love for a crazy pitch.
So we just had him with as the Pride with Street Profits and everything. They were building him and Carmelo Hayes, a lot of backstage stuff. What if so the only titles that Bobby Lashley never won in WWE, former WWE champion, former IC champion, former US champion. What if he's like, I'm gonna go for the tag titles? Him and Carmelo just come back. They destroy the Street Profits, right? So now you have them establish as heels, and they make a run for the tag titles.
What type of narcotic have you copped from the streets? Like, is it?
How much
Is it a
milk
new
did you
one?
drink today, Mr. Mango?
Is it 2%? What's going on, bro? You think he comes back to tag with Carmelo for the titles?
Listen, this man is almost 50 years old, all right?
And
Hey, bro,
he's
it don't
yoked.
look like it.
That
Yeah.
yoked, but being yoked in 50, he still gets hurt a lot.
He looks
Yeah.
better than 70% of the roster.
Facts.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, I'm not doubting his looks at all. I'm saying when it comes to having a young small guy and a big older dude, right? I think we've had these backstage segments. Remember before that, he was trying to help Carmelo out,
Yeah.
right? So I think it could work because it would be a good subversion of expectations.
So I'm gonna be on Martin's side with this one. So narcotic sharing.
Wow.
Okay. You have to build
Snorting together, brother.
Wow.
Yeah, brother. It's powdered milk.
Let me tell you something, man. Just for that pitch. I've never said this to you before, Bar, but from that pitch, I'll beat your ass, bro. That's just for that pitch.
Nah,
you out of control.
No, because here he has a point though.
Say it.
It's gonna be something where it puts the Street Profits in relevancy. Because they are not as relevant as they should be.
No, I agree with you there, but I'm letting you cook.
Okay, let me cook. They got to go through the bloodline, right? You got to have Angelo Dawkins get his ass whooped by Jacob Fatu a couple times. It's gonna happen.
Oh, that's gonna happen.
That's gonna happen. But the chemistry and the things that they're gonna make happen, especially the way Montez likes to make fun of Tama Tonga, beautiful. When it finally happens, they're on a run. Now you got B-Fab pumping them up. Carmelo sits there, starts talking like, "Yo, I want to go for a run for y'all." It's like, you ain't got nobody on your side. That's what you think? Because Carmelo can play that game. Maybe now, just if you don't do Bobby, you could do Bobby not as the partner. Hypothetically, you can pull Trick over.
I'm not mad at Trick
That's
being called up
literally
ever.
what I was just
You
about
can pull
to say.
Trick over.
I was gonna say I could see Trick tagging with Bobby
Mello.
Lashley.
Do you understand the 5-star
Oh,
match?
More
Wait,
than I
you
could
said
see
Trick-
Mello with Bobby Lashley, because Mello and Bobby Lashley, it's kind of like it's the same like athleticism, it's the same vibe. Like they're both just alphas, they're both very athletic guys, very big, strong guys. But if you bring Trick in, who's a complete change from what Bobby Lashley is. Bobby Lashley is a straight up straight guy, and then you've got Trick where he's just off the deep end and wild and crazy, and you put those two together, you're going to get something interesting, because Bobby's going to be like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And then Trick's going to be like, "You need to get crazy." You know, it's like then you have two
Speaking of
different
what are you
personalities
doing,
coming together.
Deuce Bigelow with the dub and the super chat. Round of applause, Deuce Bigelow. Says Bobby Lashley needs the world title run he never got. Thank you so much for supporting the show and supporting the effort that we are here building.
Wait, you don't believe, what's that say, the Beans 410 5-star match? You don't believe that the Street Profits, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams cannot put on a 5-star match?
No, these are things that we don't even acknowledge, man.
I
We
shouldn't
didn't even
acknowledge
get out of the
that.
blocks of Raw yet.
Yeah.
CM Punk is officially cleared.
Yeah.
All right. We saw, my question is, where is this Xavier Woods Final Testament story going?
Nowhere.
And why?
Nowhere
bro?
and why?
This is getting so
Repetitive.
Because now you dragged in the old Alpha Academy for no reason.
Yeah, but they need some TV time. So I get why they incorporated him with Xavier. But it's like, where's the storyline going to go ultimately? And then you got Sonya Deville, who came out looking like she was Zod's henchman and about to help her fight Superman. But outside of that, we don't know what the group name will be.
Wow, that was a deep cut.
It was
I don't know if y'all know. Hey, y'all.
Kryptonian, baby.
Hey, y'all, before we started recording, Clayton Thomas was telling us how much of a DC fan he was, and he just showed it.
Oh,
clearly.
yeah. DC fan, man. Detective Comics, baby. So with
I
now...
like you didn't even say General Zod. You just said Zod. You said it like y'all cousins.
Yo, his homie Zod.
Yeah, we were just getting some pizza, me and Zod.
Me and my boy Z was out there
You know,
picking up a
they-
slice.
You know, we just pick up a slice. So now when I
Don't
look
put
at
no
this...
Krypton on that. Don't put no kryptonite on that pizza.
You ruined it when you said Krypton.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Gable, y'all about to be on each other's heads. I can already see this. Gable and Otis at SummerSlam.
Oh, man, I don't know. I want the Uncle Howdy.
He's gonna be involved, but it's not gonna be a straight up match.
Yeah, but even Gable and Otis sounds like pre-show, and I feel like that's cheated. That sounds like, yo, we got 52 minutes left before SummerSlam starts. Here's your opening contest. Gable and Uncle Howdy is on the card. It may be considered the quote-unquote bathroom break match for some, but that has more main show potential. We want to see the match, but I feel like the way they've subverted Gable and Otis so much to include this Uncle Howdy Wyatt 6 thing, that's either going to be Raw or pre-show.
Speaking of Uncle Howdy, him hitting the sister Abigail was beautiful.
Yeah.
And the way we get to see him too.
Yes.
Look clean. Yeah.
Did you see the gear?
Yeah,
Like,
he looks good. Like, honestly, I was for a minute. I was like, "Wait,
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't it?
It looked like a taller Bray."
And that's what you want.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And that's what, I mean, he's like, there you are. I just kind of
got the white man dreads.
He got them white man dreads. Boy.
He got them.
The one, they always had that one yellow streak. That one like
that
Cheeto.
blonde that come through.
Yeah.
The blonde that came like, no, don't you try this too much.
Bo Dallas is a lot more cut than he's ever been, though.
Yeah.
He's looking a lot leaner than he was before.
I always wanted him to be lean. Like when he was doing the bow leave thing, I was like, man, if you could just do a couple push-ups.
If you could just bow leave in exercise. Bow leave in the gym.
You know what?
Bow leave.
But you know what? His brother always said, y'all do not realize how good this man is.
Yeah.
Because even people have got to remind you, the dude is the first NXT champion. People forget that a lot because we've seen everything he's went through.
Well, no, Seth Rollins was the first NXT champion.
I thought Bo Dallas.
No, Seth Rollins.
Seth, then Big E, then Bo Dallas,
Oh.
then Neville, then Sami Zayn.
Hey, Neville
then
doesn't
Kevin
exist, y'all. Don't ever bring him up.
Neville.
Adrian Neville. That was the worst name.
That was the worst thing ever. But so I'm sorry, not the first, but he was an NXT champion and he had a run with it. And I think we forget that part because we were so busy seeing Bo Dallas be the B team and all these other different gimmicks they put him in. And now him being at the focal point. Shouts out to our homie mutual friend off the Dancast, Chris Burns. Chris Burns just said something though. At some point, they got to get in the ring.
They got to get in the ring at some point, man.
Yeah, but Bo is good. I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about Nikki Cross. She's great.
Right.
Joe Gacy, I think he's better served in like hardcore matches.
Okay.
Dexter Lumis can do like short matches.
What about Rowan then?
Dexter Lumis can do short matches, and I feel like they got other members who could pop in and do some stuff.
Do you want to see Bo Dallas versus Chad Gable or Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable? Excuse me.
I think right now I want to just see Uncle Howdy interfere in his match against Otis, and then we see him confront Bo Dallas on a Raw, and then Uncle Howdy comes out later that night after Gable is beating him up. Like, build the story for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, we got to get to SmackDown. We got a lot to cover.
Let's do it.
Bachaloa has an eye injury.
Yeah, they say you're not getting this tag match, bro. We're not letting you wrestle for that long.
No.
Hey, they didn't even give him like a good eye patch.
They
gave him like
They went to the
he
Family
went and got his
Dollar.
eyes dilated. Eye patch.
They gave him the David Hasselhoff eye patches, Nick Fury.
No.
Here's what's crazy too. When they were talking about like, yeah, your man's is when Nick Aldis like your man's is injured. He didn't even say nothing. He was like yeah, I guess so. It was like they don't even trust him to do a promo about
Your
an
own
eye
injury.
Yeah.
But when he said that, did you hear how bad like the reaction was? They were like, "What did you just say?" I'm like, "This is the worst acting
It's pretty bad.
I've ever seen." Like,
Bachaloa, man, he gonna ruin everybody.
he's bad.
He's not good.
Hey, man, look, there's a low rider bicycle in the back waiting on him.
They gonna put it on him.
Yeah.
Santos can't keep losing matches. Santos is he's a star. And him continuously losing matches while being the head of a stable is never going to be good for anybody involved.
Hey, bro, shut your mouth. We get to see Elektra Lopez.
And what is she gonna do, bro? What is she gonna do? What is B-Fab gonna do? They got them looking more useless than that green on the plate when you get like food. What is that? The garnish?
The garnish?
Yeah.
You know what? I thought the whole Elektra Lopez, Zelina Vega thing was going to be something for a minute.
Uh-huh.
And then they was like, yeah, Zelina, we believe in you other places.
And they did.
They did. Which says they don't believe in Elektra Lopez.
You've seen her wrestle.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, it's not good?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
But B-Fab, there was always this whole thing of she's been getting better, she's been training, et cetera, et cetera. You got to give us something.
Something.
You got to give us something. That spot that she took from with the table thing during WrestleMania with Scarlett. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
She's got it again. They got to be in the ring.
Scarlett got to do something.
Scarlett's never done anything, and I
No,
said,
she was great in TNA.
I mean, but as far as I think never done anything since she's been with Karrion Kross. So, I mean, Karrion Kross, not
Yeah.
Killer Kross.
Yeah, I mean,
since she's been with Karrion.
She got them tarot cards. She's like, oh, here's your fate. Like, oh.
I appreciate
Anyways,
it.
he's not gonna wrestle either? No one's just AOP. All right, got it.
And Paul Ellering just like
the Bones Man.
He's all bones, bro.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill did an amazing military press that I love to see because Jade is stronger than McDonald's Sprite. Boy, she is on fire in everything she does.
Look, Jay Cargill out
can
here.
we go back to the Santos Escobar thing real
Please.
quick?
Wait, before you say it, Jonathan Cantris, thank you so much. Also, Domingo Tripp says, do we think Aleister Black and Keith Lee return to WWE. I would love it. I'm interested in interactions that Roman and Cody will have this go around. I can see an uneasy truce. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I agree. Go ahead, K-Mac.
I think one of the biggest issues that I had with the whole Santos Escobar thing is that they muddied the water so much with his storylines by adding Dirty Dom into it and like never really doing anything with that. Mm-hmm. So and you took away the heat that his faction had with LWO.
Yes.
Because now you've got 3 factions, none of which have ever actually, besides the LWO and Santos Escobar's faction, that never really had beef. And then you added, for some reason, Dirty Dom into the mix. And
for them
nothing
had
ever
that rush
happened
match.
from that.
Yeah,
nothing ever happened.
Man, because it's called We Gotta Have All the Latinos wrestle each other. That is it.
Crazy. Andrade put a stop to that though. He was like, I'm not wrestling anymore. He said, "Give me the black, the little black,
The little black.
Give me the little black."
And he went off. Him and Carmelo went off.
Banger after banger. We knew Gargano and Ciampa were transitional champs, but I did not know their reign was going to be this short.
Oh,
3 weeks? I knew their reign was going to be short when they showed them last week watching the match, and the crowd didn't even erupt to see the tag champs.
They barely erupt to see the champs in the ring.
That's a fact.
So
I don't know, man. I think they might. I think they might. That's why you have Tama Tonga there. I think KO or Randy might help out, and that's how Gargano and Ciampa retain.
You know the problem is?
What's that?
You need your beard back. That's what it is. You need your beard back. You over here making some rash comments, brother.
Hey, brother,
because that
listen,
beard gone, boy.
I'm not gonna look at your face,
man.
You guys always are on me about not committing to the characters.
Hey, it's why you commit whole for a second. Deuce Bigelow, shouts out again. Congratulations. Thank you for dropping another dub for us, man. Said Roman is way too petty for a truce. I wanted to get to that because even bringing up the Cody thing, people keep bringing Cody in this. Y'all got to remember, there's somebody who keeps looking over Cody's shoulder every 7 seconds as soon as this solo Sikoa match is over.
Randy Orton.
Yeah.
So Cody's bloodline thing is going to be gone. And I know some people are like, well, what about War Games? It's bloodline.
Uh-huh.
You got Cody, Randy. You need to have that play itself out.
I agree with you.
That's about to happen.
But wait, looking at that, when you look at the new bloodline, you already know Jacob is about, that means everybody in the new bloodline is about to get a title before Solo does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody.
Of course.
Then you look at the fact that when we see Jacob's performance, Jacob is such a star. You can't, it's like in comedy, you know how like you'll do shows and you like, man, the agents ain't looking or the managers ain't looking or the network ain't seeing me. But you going on these shows where all these guys are super represented and you're destroying. The cream rises to the top and they can't keep you from that. Jacob is going to be a world champion, bro.
The reason you know Jacob is so good is when you watch these promos where Solo is doing these long drawn out speeches.
Yeah.
Nobody's paying attention to what Solo's saying. No. They're literally just watching Jacob Fatu in the background, just praying over him. Like nobody's even paying attention. It's just huffing, puffing prayer happening behind him.
Puffing prayer.
Yeah. Nobody cares about the promo.
But you know what that is?
You know he prayed to Allah too.
Man.
I'm not about to have this pork in my system, brothers.
No lips that touch swine will ever touch mine.
But we're doing a luau. I told you. All right. Okay, Jacob. Okay.
Jacob is that one. You know what happened?
What?
All of the members of the roster started sharing clips of him.
Uh-huh.
So everybody started being like, who didn't know?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay. But I think it also works if every member of the bloodline but Solo has a title.
Okay.
You know why? Because now you the tribal chief. Why everybody else got to go? Where's yours? When Roman comes back, you the man.
I agree.
You the man.
And then The Rock comes back with that people's.
He got a title.
He got the people's title.
When you look at the tag champs being transitional, I would have rather the Street Profits have been those champs. They did amazing performance in the Gauntlet. Amazing performance in the Gauntlet. I would have rather they held the titles for 3 weeks and dropped them than to not get them at all and just have a solid showcase.
What about why not Cruz and Corbin?
I'll beat both of y'all ass.
Cruz and
I'll beat your boy.
You're going to beat my ass?
You got a singlet on? You got a full
No.
First of all, put your nipple back in the singlet. That's number one.
No.
That's number one. We're going to get demonetized. Number two, you got a singlet on?
They come ready.
Who sponsored this show?
Man, this is incredible.
Yeah.
If you had that mouthpiece,
man.
boy, you'd be wrestling.
He's gonna pull it out his crotch in a minute. Like, what do you mean? But
Who's ever said anything wrong about your commitment, man? This is incredible, boy. Get the nipples
You
coming.
guys have said.
I've never said that.
I was hoping you had on knee pads at least, like things just to pull them up or pull down out of somewhere. You fully ready?
If anybody watching the show was wondering what singlets look like if you buy them on Temu, that.
Yo.
All right, thank you, Marlboro Man, for coming through.
Yo. It's going to go on the rails, and I'm trying to keep it from stopping.
All right, but again,
Dakota Kai, Eddie Thorpe. Shayna can't catch a break because she can't win a match and she lost her girl. That's all I'm thinking.
hey man, Daddy DeVille came back and made a whole other thing.
Tell you something, boy. Let me tell you something, boy.
Shouts out to the Scissor Squad.
Oh,
Listen,
boy.
Wow.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yes, man. In the meantime, it is time for us to get our final predictions for SummerSlam before we have a very special surprise for you guys. SummerSlam predictions. K-Mac, give it to us.
Wins and losses?
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be a hot take because nobody believes it's gonna happen. I think Roman comes back for SummerSlam,
Mm-hmm.
but I think The Rock comes back too because everybody's putting so much emphasis on Roman coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I think Roman comes back, Rock comes back and steals the spotlight, and Rock joins Solo's faction.
Interesting. We haven't even heard Rock coming back in SummerSlam. Okay. Jay?
Oh, I agree. Roman comes back for sure. Roman comes back absolutely. I think Paul Heyman comes back first, then Roman.
Oh, could I wanted to add.
Please.
Right.
I think Jacob Fatu, and I think we talked about this. I think Jacob Fatu is
A mole.
a mole for Roman.
A lot of people have said that.
I've never heard this theory.
I heard that Jacob is not. He's not
I
really.
think he's a mole for Roman.
He's not really Solo's enforcer. He's actually Roman's new enforcer.
I've never heard this.
I've heard it. I've heard
Did
it.
you hear it?
I think you had said
Yeah.
something about that.
Yo,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, a mole.
Because Roman knows Roman ain't stupid. He's a tribal chief, and there's a wise man for a reason.
Mm.
And all these, I think that. And The Rock just finished this MMA movie.
Yes.
But here's the thing: I don't think Rock comes back yet. I think the perfect time to bring Rock back. The pay-per-view has named it Bad Blood.
Bad blood. But also, Jimmy got to come back. We keep forgetting about
You
Jimmy.
can't
Uso.
right, and you can't have him because you got to build him up. Jimmy has to come back first.
I see Jimmy coming back to SmackDown.
I can see that.
Yeah.
To cost them from winning the tag titles?
Yes.
Ooh.
And just out of nowhere, but then like maybe they jump him, and something happens, they clear him out. But then finally he has to go to Raw.
Uh-huh.
I need some help. Who else do I go get help from?
My brother. And Rikishi would love that because Rikishi is mad right now that they got Jay Uso involved in this Rhea Ripley.
Oh.
Why they got my son chasing bucks?
Jesus Christ.
I used to put my butt in people's faces every day, and they gonna do this to my son?
Chasing box. I think LA Knight gets his first title.
Yeah.
Oh, SummerSlam, absolutely.
Absolute. LA Knight gets his first title. I think this is
Shout
a hot
out
take.
to my boy Logan Paul.
This is a hot take.
Mm-hmm.
I think Liv Morgan retains.
Oh, that's not a hot take at all.
She's definitely a lukewarm take.
Yes.
Everyone knows that.
Well, no,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people like, oh, mommy getting it back, mommy. I was like, no. I think Liv gets it back, and I think Dom's the reason.
Yeah.
I think Dom.
Yeah,
I think Dom turns.
I think Dom turns.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much to MTK2. That's a wild theory. That will be a hell of a plot twist. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you,
Yes.
fam.
Yes, sir.
And then,
Martin, I'll-
My predictions, I think Damian Priest is somehow going to retain. I think Seth Rollins screws CM Punk. Also, LA Knight gets his first title. Liv retains. I think Nia Jax will be the queen of SmackDown with the title.
for all of
Wow.
7 seconds.
Facts. Tiffany cashing in.
Tiffany cashing in on Nia. They're gonna have a long, drawn out match.
Yep.
They gonna go like Nia, because Nia's been showing you she can go time now.
Yeah.
They're gonna go about 15. Nia gonna pull it out at the end.
Uh-huh.
And then she gonna be celebrating. It's Tiffy time.
It's Tiffany time. She's gonna already be out there though.
Are there
And-
any? Do you think there's going to be any surprise female returns for SummerSlam?
Who?
Because they always have a surprise.
Charlotte.
That's
Not
what
yet.
I was thinking.
No,
Charlotte.
that's I don't think Charlotte comes back yet.
Royal Rumble.
Yes,
Okay.
because that and Tiffany, we all see it.
Ooh, Tiffany is champion. Charlotte. going
Charlotte goes forward. That's and Tiffany wins.
for- Has Charlotte won a Royal Rumble yet?
Yes.
Okay.
But all of the 4 minus Sasha have won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
All of the horsewomen. But I think Tiffy
That'll happen when Sasha's like 40 and comes back.
You know she's still gonna look like she's 22
with that purple hair. But Tiffy Charlotte is a WrestleMania. That's a headline match. You bring Charlotte back right now, you got too many people trying to rush that.
Yeah.
You got too many people like, yo, they got to give us this now. Like, bro, chill out. We know what that is.
All right. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us, K-Mac. Tell us
Happy
what's
to
coming
be
up.
here.
What you got? How can people follow you? Talk to them.
You can catch me on Instagram at Kevin Mac, Kevin M-A-C. You can catch me on YouTube at Kevin Mac on YouTube. My film Topper is releasing this fall on Paramount Plus.
Congratulations.
So,
Congratulations.
So check it out there. Wrote and directed it and have some really great people in there. Brian Callen, Eric Griffin, Jimmy Schubert. It's a really great film, and I'm excited to shoot the next one. Next one's a comedy.
Nice.
What are you shooting right now with this mustache? Because I know it's something.
Porn.
It's not just what?
shooting down the ladies, man. Pulling that Magnum PI pussy. That's what I'm doing.
Goodness.
Yes. K-Mac, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, Kev.
Friend of the
Thank you,
show.
guys.
Coming in right now, ladies and gentlemen. Martin, would you like to do the introduction?
Yes, this brother is a former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion, former Ring of Honor 6-man Tag Team Champion, two-time TNT Champion, face of the Revolution, as well as the inaugural AEW Tag Team Champion with SCU. Please, right now, join us in welcoming none other than LA's own Scorpio Sky.
Sky. He was there. Okay. Yeah, we're live.
Come on in.
We're live,
man.
Sky.
There he is.
Have a seat. There
You
he
just close
is.
the door, Sky.
We're making this dude do so much work.
That'd be
Yeah, I
cool,
do.
man. That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
do.
guy.
Now what?
What are we doing?
Yeah, what up, brother?
What's up, man?
What's
Good to see you.
Let me get myself together. Damn. So I heard I can't say. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't talk like you normally talk.
Okay. That's gonna be tough.
Bro, good to see you, man.
Yeah. Good to see you as well.
Was-
Man. It's been a minute. You guys
been a
good?
minute, bro. Been
Yeah.
a minute,
Fam
man.
good.
Everything's good. Everything's good with you?
Yeah. Real good.
Yeah, beard's gotten longer. You're
Yeah.
a little bit tanner. You know, you got the meat on you too.
The
You're already a
tanning.
meated up
Pause.
man.
Hey, yo.
Pause.
What happened?
You got the meat on you?
Major
Wait,
pause.
Wait, hold on. That's not how I meant that. That's not what I meant.
You got the meat on you?
How are you feeling, man? What's new? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing really good. I feel good. You know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cesar Bononi. I've been working out with him.
Mm.
He's like the guy, the go-to guy. So like physically, I feel better than I felt in years. And
Nice.
so just jacked, man. That's,
I mean,
that's
I'm
all
looking
can
at,
say.
bro, I've known you for years, and I saw you walk in. I was like, yo, hey, bro, you're not going to come back in here with this Orton Triple H, a beautiful day return. You know what I'm saying? But
I've had a lot of time to go to the gym.
let's talk about that, man. Let's just be straight. This is what we do. We keep it real and keep it a buck here. You have not been seen on TV for a minute.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been asking, when are you returning and things like that. What can you tell us about your status with the company and where you're what's going on?
You know, I honestly don't have a great answer on when I will be back. I am still with the company.
Mhm.
I'm still employed as of right now, at least. No, I ain't been fired yet. No, but you know, I've been really in and out. Obviously, over the last couple of years, some of it has been due to injury, some of it has been due to bad luck.
Mhm.
You can only control what you can control. And so I'm just kind of, I think, a little bit of a holding pattern. There's been a few injuries that it's definitely been exaggerated online. I've seen a lot of stuff like I've had surgery and just crazy stuff like that. I had long-term injuries and then I came back and got hurt right away.
I heard you was buying NBC.
That I haven't heard that
That's what they
one.
said.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out,
Fine,
fam.
like
He
that.
trying to buy NBC. I said he trying to buy NBC.
Yeah, none of that, all that, cap, none of it's true. I did have a couple of injuries, but they were all like, they were short it's a physical sport. You know, none of us is just going to be healthy 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You know, there's going to be injuries.
Yeah.
You're going to slow down. You're going to have to take couple weeks off here at a time. So that has happened. But for the most part, I've been healthy, 80% of the last 2 years.
Let me ask you this, man. How would you, and this is the beautiful part about being in the company that you're in, how would you pitch your return to television?
So I had an idea, and I've actually already talked about this publicly, so I have no problem bringing it back. I wanted to kind of not so much repackage myself, but bring a different character. And the character that I kind of came up with was somewhat of a social media influencer type of guy, where it's a little bit like a clout chaser, a little bit. And the idea where I got it from was basically I follow a lot of influencers. I'm sure a lot of us do. And there's one particular guy, and there's a lot of instances like this. When I first started following him years ago, it was like men's fitness and fashion and that sort of thing. And it was all like really helpful information. But as he got bigger and he hits like 1 million followers and all these subscribers, it became less about, hey, this could help you, and more about, look how great my life is. And that kind of clicked for me of like, basically a clout chasing influencer could work in wrestling.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I was trying to do. I don't know if you saw some of the vignettes.
Yeah.
My idea was to kind of come the old school route, like back in the day, where you have a bunch of video packages that air introducing a character that develop and move on and move forward. And then eventually that character appears on TV. That's kind of what I was trying to do. And it just hasn't quite worked out.
Let me ask you this question real quick. Training wise, now we're not talking about
wait, stick with this character.
Okay, stick with the character.
I love the pitch. I want to raise this in your pitch, because when it comes to heels, I am a heel booker. First and foremost, thank you to Paralyzed Pimpin', Ironside, sup fellas. Scorpio, have you picked up another thug boat? Team CT all day. Appreciate you, my guy. Round of applause for Paralyzed Pimpin'. Thanks for supporting the channel. Going to you, bro.
Wait, Thug Boat.
Thug boat.
Thug boat. All right, let me explain Thug boat.
Yeah, you got to.
Real quick. This basically I did Ethan Page's toy hunt video once, like a year or so ago. And we were looking at all these action figures, and I was talking about how I was a big action figure guy when I was a kid. I mean, I was deep into it. I had all the wrestling figures. I would do storylines. I would do cards. I would write the cards down. I was big into it. And one of the storylines I had as a kid was, you remember Typhoon?
Yes.
And before he was Typhoon, he was
Tugboat. Yeah.
And so I had him turn heel, and he turned on Earthquake, and he took on the name Thugboat. And his finishing move was the 5-star frog splash, which is crazy. Because he was like 450 pounds.
I would pay money to see look, we used to see Vader do his Vader splash.
Yeah.
We would see Bam Bam Bigelow. I'd pay money to see a 400-pound dude do a 5-star frog splash.
5-star frog splash.
5-star.
Yeah. I want to see Thug, just because I feel like that he could, that would be the tugboat version of what was my man who turned African?
Oh, one man game now.
Akeem.
Captain
Yeah. The chain, and he's like, hey,
It's just that entrance.
we out
Weighing
here.
450 pounds from the hood. Thug boat.
I want your stable, because you got to have a stable as this heel. You come back and you got this social media persona. Your stable has to be your employees, though. So the person that's holding the camera for you, the person that is reading your tweets and responding for you, these are the people that are in your stable. The pretty girl
on your arm, too.
One of the ideas I had was to always have like some motivational quote.
Yes.
For whatever,
okay.
Right? Like whether I win, lose, whatever it is. And like example, say something like a wrestler loses a match and they're interviewing him backstage, and I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, I saw you lost that match. I mean, that's tough. Like I can relate. I mean, I haven't lost that many wrestling matches, but I mean, I'm sure I've lost at something in life, and like hit him with some motivational quote. And one of the ideas I had was having an assistant where like I hit a line, a motivational quote, and then I'm like, did you get that? And she's like, got it, boss. And she like puts it into the phone and then tweets it out later.
With the video clip.
Yeah, just like fun stuff like that. And I studied a lot of I looked at guys like Gary Vee. I looked at what's the cat's name? Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Looked at him. I even looked at mega church pastors. Not
That's
so much
about right.
their sermons,
Yeah.
but like when they get cornered for interviews, like, why do you have a private jet? And it's like, oh, you know, like little things like that where you get caught and you drop you drop that persona because the idea, I think it has to be a little bit of fake to it. It's a clout chaser, right?
Yeah.
So there's got to be moments where you let your guard down and see. And strategically, that's part of why those vignettes that we're airing, until the third one, you didn't see me talking. It was just clips and voiceover. And it was just like hiding the fakeness, you know, that sort of thing. And I had a lot of ideas for it to progress and kind of grow. What you saw was far from the finished product. I wanted it to really evolve, and that's why they were really vague at first. People were like, I don't know if this is a heel or a face or what it is.
Right.
And I intentionally wanted that.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's great. And then at the end, you show he's in a studio apartment the whole time.
Oh, man.
Like,
With a whole backdrop and a chroma key screen. Let me ask you this. I was going back to this about your training.
Yes.
Now, I know you've been working out with Caesar for working out and getting physical. How are you keeping up in the ring wise? Because that's a big thing for those who don't know, being in the ring, running the ropes, taking the bumps to get your body ready. How are you keeping up with that?
That's a little tough because there just aren't too many places to train out here. Nowadays. At least what I know of. I know there are a couple of places, and I go to a ring occasionally, but it's not like getting in there and wrestling every week. And I think that's another part of injuries is it's a very physical sport. And in any sport, you can't take tons of time off, whether it be your decision or not, and then jump right back in at 100%. Like that's why injuries happen.
Yeah.
So that's the tough thing. Best thing I can do is just try to stay in shape, as good a shape as I can, and get in the ring when I can. But one of the things I want to do is get back on the indie scene, if that's something I'll be allowed to do. Because I haven't really done the indies since AEW started TV. That was something like me, Christopher Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian intentionally decided to do. We did the indies during the first year of AEW, but once TV started, we said, okay, we're going to be TV guys. We're going to give value to television and say that if you want to see us, you have to watch the TV show to do it. And so we stopped doing independent circuit. But now I want to get back to it because there's a lot of new guys out there that are like really good. And there's a lot of promotions out there that are really exciting and fun. And I want to get out and, like I said, go back to my roots.
I'm gonna hit you with this, man. Every time we have a very special guest on, we always ask their Mount Rushmore. I don't want to know your Mount Rushmore. I want to know the top 4 people that you would still geek out over meeting.
In wrestling or period?
In wrestling.
I would still geek out over.
You gonna say Will Smith? Everybody's gonna geek out over.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, you made Summertime, my dog.
Man, it's tough because I just don't geek out over meeting like too many people in general.
You think you're better than us?
No, it's not that. It's just
special.
You have to understand, when I started, there was a culture where you could not
fanboy out at all.
You could not wear another guy's shirt, another wrestler's shirt. Like you could not. It's like much more accepted now, which I think is great. I remember like my boy Watts.
I love Watts.
Eric Watts.
Yeah,
shout out to homie Watts, man.
He did Tough Enough back in the day, and they were talking about this. And he said something along the lines of like, well, if you're a young basketball player, you wear a Kobe Bryant jersey, nobody's looking down upon you. So why can't I wear like a Bret Hart shirt or whatever it is? And I always thought, I was like, that makes so much sense. That's why I'm glad the culture is kind of different now, where it's like encouraged. It's cool. If you see, you know, a wrestler, whoever it is, whether like Austin Theory, I'll just throw a name out there, a young guy, and he's wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt or a John Cena shirt. That's dope. And that's what it should be. So Bret Hart is a guy I would geek out to, like just because he was my favorite wrestler growing up.
He's
like,
the best there is, the best there was, and I heard he's gonna be the best there ever will be.
Yeah.
I heard.
I still would get a little bit of like,
why are you looking like that?
I'm so disgusted. I'm so disgusted at you the way you did,
excellence
man.
of execution, man. You
But
know,
I heard he's gonna be the best there ever will be.
it was very well put. No, he's a guy I would still geek out to. He might be the only one, because I've met mostly everybody.
Did they live up to what you thought?
I have met Brett, but I've never really had a good conversation
Okay,
with him.
got you,
'cause I
got
was
you.
internally geeking out.
Oh,
And so
was he talking about Goldberg for the past 20 minutes?
he
kicked me in the head.
I had a
No,
career,
I
brother.
got
We'd have been in the ring if he wouldn't have kicked me. We'd have been tackling it up, brother.
Well, let me shift that question a little bit. So you
Yeah.
talked about wanting to work the indies, and there's also so much incredible talent in AEW, ROH, everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Who are some guys that you would like to face both internally and externally on the indies?
Man, like, can I just name people everywhere?
Name
do.
anybody, brother.
There's I mean, even within AEW, you know, Miro's a
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Love
to
them,
get
bro,
Miro.
Miro.
Brian Danielson, Hangman Page. There's a lot of talent within it. Eddie Kingston is a guy I've been wanting to get in the ring with for a couple. Him and I have known each other for almost 20 years. We've never touched in a
I
wrestling
was just
match
about to
before.
ask, like, bro, you all have crossed paths in so many promotions. How is that possible?
I know, right?
I mean, but it
both
is.
in PWG, both
Yeah,
in
both-
AEW, like
That's like
never
what?
wrestled each other.
Yeah.
Never wrestled. So he's a guy I would really like to get in the ring with. Outside of AEW, there's a guy. What's his name? Javon Evans in I think that's his
NXT.
name, right, in NXT. I saw him in the 4-way match with Ethan Page and Sean Spears, and Trick Williams is another guy I really like. Those guys, I think I would love to wrestle at some point. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen. We play for different teams, but
Never say never.
Yeah,
you
you never
never
know.
know. I
Oh,
mean,
I'll say never with that one. I'll say never with that
Why?
one.
Why?
Look at the two companies. Listen, let me just be honest. I love our podcast. I love our friends who are in the companies. Okay, but we've seen what cross promotions are working and which ones will probably never happen.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. You know, you just never know.
The game has changed.
This is
That's
for
true.
me.
That's true.
This is all hypothetical.
Of course,
This is all
absolutely,
hypotheticals.
absolutely.
I'm just throwing. But you know, even if you look at like TNA, I've wrestled him before, but Chris Bay. Chris Bay has
that's the
elevated
homie.
his man.
That's the homie.
I wrestled him years ago. He's elevated his game so much, and he's a guy I'd like to wrestle. Speedball Mike Bailey, another guy that I would like to get in the ring with. There's so many talented guys that I've never been in the ring with in AEW and outside of AEW. Like, I just want to run the gauntlet.
I think your talent in the ring has always been underrated. And I don't say that just as you being here and as a friend. Like, I've watched you work for years, even before I knew you personally. And I think people don't give you the credit that you do deserve for the work you've put in the ring, not just the athletic ability, the talent, the understanding the characters every time you've been that way. I feel like the company now needs to realize, yo, we have a marquee player in Scorpio Sky.
Thank you. I appreciate it. One thing is tough, I think, for particularly Black men in wrestling is I don't know if it's stigmatized, but it's hard to be noticed if you don't have a certain character.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be a rapper or some type of a thug.
Yeah.
Right. And otherwise, a lot of people they're old school. They don't think you have a character at all. But it's weird because white guys don't have to be
They
cowboys.
be just themselves.
They don't have to be hillbillies. And then the other part of it
That's
is
so crazy.
if one day Danielson just came out as Henry O'Godwin, you're like, wait, what happened? Why has he got these suspenders on?
I mean, I'm
Some
being real.
overalls and
Yeah,
everything.
that's
I'm
real.
being real. And it's just it's very backwards thinking, and that's a problem I have run into throughout my career. Another part of it is our highest form of compliment is that we're great athletes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But if you look at somebody like Hangman Page, oh, he's a badass. Or if you look at somebody like Orange Cassidy, oh, he's so charismatic, or whoever, right? Like, there's like, oh, this guy's a superstar, or this guy's, you know, whatever. We don't get those compliments.
No.
We're great athletes. Hangman Page is a great athlete, but they don't say, oh, he's a great athlete. He's a badass, or Moxley is a badass.
Yeah.
But they don't look at Black wrestlers and like, oh, that guy's a badass. Would you look at somebody like MVP? MVP's a badass. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yes, he is.
Look at Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is an MMA fighter, and he's huge, and he's in crazy good shape, and he can beat up basically anybody he's going to run into on the street. He's a badass, you know, and he's a superstar. Obviously, I'm putting over the Hurt Business here, as you can see.
I mean, if anybody knows.
Yeah, I was saying say you'd be a perfect if the rumors of them maybe hopping over are true. You'd be a perfect person to slot in there.
Hey, I mean, I didn't say it, you did, but
let me tell you this, man. When we talk about these wrestlers you just named, there's a reason that, and this is not new. We have to be twice as good just to be considered okay or
Absolutely.
passing.
Yeah.
But with that, you have to be able to talk on that mic. That's the thing that changes you from being just a great athlete to being a superstar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you talk on that mic, MVP can talk on the mic,
Yeah.
but they didn't give him chances to talk on the mic until later in his career, really, outside him being a great athlete.
I loved the MVP. And real quick, shout out to Shelton and Cedric too.
Yeah.
'cause,
Yeah.
those guys are part of it. But MVP's character to me was incredible, and they could have done a lot more with it. Like that was, to me, if you look at the way he came in, how he was like this, like
vignettes with
almost
everything.
football player,
Yeah.
and he had the tunnel and everything. Like to me, that's a main event character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That should have gone to the main event level, and he was good. He was
A lot
really
of stuff
good.
is
He
Vince.
Great
So let's
look.
just, let's
He
be
was
real.
the
They
most
set his ass
valuable.
on fire by Kane. Literally set his ass on fire.
Yeah.
Like, that
He was awesome. He was one of my favorites, and the same could be said for Shelton. Shelton was another guy that's just like, man, what else do you need?
him to talk on that mic. That's the only thing that was missing.
He's got a mammy. That's what they did.
And it was Thea.
Now, so I saw this clip where y'all doing the Vince McMahon. Is the Vince McMahon impression a part of every episode?
Let me tell you
Damn
something.
near.
because I
His
love
Vince
it.
McMahon is Vince McMahon.
It's good. It's good.
Because it goes, come on,
It's
dude.
good.
Give
I
him
like
a
it.
mammy.
Yeah.
I like it.
You didn't work.
Oh my god.
It's true.
You're black, but you're black.
Bust inside.
Bro, you have to be able to talk on that mic.
Yeah.
When you look at The Rock, we always talk about The Rock, but The Rock's heritage that's celebrated is only his Samoan side until it's February. Then they acknowledge the other side. But when you got that mic skills,
Man,
that's
that,
when
that
they
Black
start
History
pushing
Month.
you.
Look at the Rock, boy.
Oh, yeah. You
He's
see The Rock,
number one.
first one.
He the first person you show.
It's The Rock, then it's Tony Atlas, and then it's Rocky
They
Johnson.
give him the flat top back and stuff and all the
You
photos.
know what
They
I
never
want to
get the
see?
ball.
Speaking of Black History Month, this
Yeah.
is something I want to see because every company does this. They only have the black wrestlers talk. You know what I'm talking about? When they're like, they'll do the like Black History Month is
What
important
does it mean
because
to
of
you?
this, whatever. Why can't they have John Cena, Hangman Page? Like, I'm not just saying
What it means to them.
what it means to everyone.
Yeah.
Because it is a holiday, or it's American history.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Right. And if you show the audience only the black wrestlers are talking about what it means to them, you're telling the audience Black History Month is only important to black people.
Well said.
Yeah.
You know what? I agree with you. I think
they cut to Hulk Hogan. He's like, don't.
Yeah.
He's
doing
dodging
that-
the camera.
He's doing that. When he's doing that Vince thing, he's like,
He's like, well,
we don't
brother,
talk about that. We don't talk
what
about that.
matters to me is as long as it's my daughter, it's,
You know, I think the problem is, I agree with you. You have certain wrestlers, people are going to be like, oh, look at them trying to pander using certain wrestlers. But it's like, let them actually speak on it.
yeah.
Let it be the face of the company. Like Cody Rhodes doing
Oh, yeah,
it.
like
Cody
Cody,
Raheem
yeah,
Rhodes.
Raheem Rhodes. Like,
100%.
you let Cody
100%.
Raheem Rhodes talking about, I'm into racism again. And I'm into racism again. Not for the first time. Again. Here's my biracial baby. This is what Black History means.
I mean, like, but for real, like, if
I love you, Cody.
if young white kids
Yeah.
and kids of other cultures are seeing people that look like them on television
Yeah.
talking about Black History Month, then that's going to make them care.
Absolutely. Very well said. Never heard that perspective, and I absolutely agree with it. I'm behind it 1,000,000%.
I just like how you just dismissed everything I said. Like,
Oh yeah, we cutting that out.
yeah.
That's
Right
not going to be.
past
If you watch the show, you can see it. But that is.
it's not making the final edit.
Oh,
No,
my
leave it
God.
in. Leave it in. That's Jay's career, not mine.
That's touche.
Yeah.
Touche.
That would be fine. You like biracial babies.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like the way you said that. You like biracial babies?
How else am I supposed to say that?
You're okay with biracial children? Like,
Yeah. Not sure.
Anyway, yeah. So shout out to the bell ringers. Also the Washingtons, the washing machines. They
We're not-
said that in the comments.
Yeah, okay.
That is not
That is not. I don't know
how
what you
either of
just-
those sound.
I don't know what you just
Wait,
did.
hold on. Okay, the washing machines. washing machines. That's how. Thank you.
And this is why they have the Special Olympics. Now,
Damn.
Yep, I had to get one.
If you could outrun me, then I'd let you say that.
Woo!
If you could outrun him, the only way to figure it out is if you run against him again.
Nope, we're not gonna do that.
Okay.
Y'all had a race?
We had a race.
We'll
show you the footage.
We'll show you nothing.
When this episode airs tomorrow, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, when this episode drops tomorrow, everybody that's in the comments right now, do us a favor. Comment again. You see all of your comments get responded to because we appreciate you. We want the engagement to go up. That's the only way that the channel and the show can grow. So, yeah.
We want to grow.
They raced. And
stop bringing it up. Just bring the old stuff.
No, just answer it.
No,
it was like a few months ago. It wasn't really old.
It's still old stuff. I think y'all need to move forward and we're not just revisiting the past.
I raced Mark Quinn from Private Party years ago, smoked him, and but he still denies it. He still denies it.
Isn't that crazy when people deny something from happening?
I tell him, I say, anytime, bro, we go again.
And he won't race you again?
And he won't race you.
Won't do it again.
That's wild. They just want you to move on.
I smoked him, though.
Maybe we'll have to race then.
Okay.
Maybe that'll be the.
Yo, that would be great to see y'all two race.
It would be
if
amazing
I had
to see
money
them
on
two.
it.
It would be amazing to see them two
I'm
races.
faster than I look.
Looking at y'all's legs, respectfully, because you yoked. I think Martin got you.
You got me?
I don't know. Maybe.
Martin's got you. His legs are smaller
We
than
can't
yours.
do it today because I'm not going to do it in Stan Smith. But you know what? Maybe I would.
I'm wearing my Shacknoids, so.
You got shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm faster than you'd think.
I was going to say, ask him the Patreon questions.
Oh, I'll send them to you because I thought.
You wanted me to read them?
Yes.
Y'all just sending them to me.
You got Patreon
I can
questions.
Yes. So
I can read though.
Okay, cool. What are some of the comments, Jay?
I didn't.
Okay, you didn't.
You said questions.
No,
we all have access to the Patreon.
I didn't know y'all thought y'all about to share them in a document or something.
Guys, no.
Right here. Okay. I see. We got the comments right here.
Yeah, feel free. Drop a super chat if you
They're
have any
throwing
questions.
matches out there. Me and Okada. Okay. MJF, Swerve.
What are your thoughts on Swerve's run right now?
What'd you say?
What are your thoughts right now on Swerve's run as champion?
Man, I gotta be honest. I haven't been watching lately.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that.
No,
but
it's understandable though. It's like because you want to be back at work and it's hard to watch when you're not at work.
I don't really watch wrestling that much at home.
What?
I don't. I just don't.
What are you watching at home?
I
National
I
Geographic.
need to kind of unplug.
Yeah.
A little bit when
What
I'm
are you
at home.
unplugging and watching?
A lot of sports. I'm a basketball nut. I watch a lot of documentaries. I'm real big on like cult documentaries and crime documentaries.
Are you watching the Olympics?
It just started like yesterday. I haven't really had a chance to watch too much.
I know you
yet.
got to be watching basketball. You are a basketball.
I was
fan.
watching the exhibition games for sure.
Any scripted shows, Scorpio Sky?
Yeah, scripted shows. I just started Cobra Kai.
You just started?
Not the last season.
Oh man,
it just came
Boy,
out.
you got so defensive.
Yeah, you
Because
got mad. You got mad.
I've never seen.
I
Cobra.
love television.
No, Cobra Kai is great. I just started the final season of that. I just finished a show called Your Honor that was really good.
Oh, that's
Your
amazing.
Honor's fire.
Yeah, that
Your
was
Honor's
great.
fire.
Jay auditioned
That's
for that.
great.
I helped you.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good, really good. So yeah, I watch scripted shows and a lot of trash reality TV. Love 90 Day Fiance.
Oh,
That's my.
I'm a
ish.
Love Is Blind guy.
Love is blind.
Love Is Blind. is great.
Love is blind.
You should go on Love Is Blind. Are you single?
No.
Oh man.
He stayed booed up. This
Oh, yeah?
Oh, this dude always.
I don't like the way you
Not
said it.
always,
Damn,
but
that's-
every time I've seen him, he's had like a baddie.
I know. I got it. I got
How you
what.
gonna play me,
Bro, I saw exactly. He was like, "Yo, he stayed booed." I was like,
Like, what?
"Hey, fam."
Bro,
That's
you
a compliment. He's not a whore.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
I was saying, you
Next
do
time.
you do a good job.
Of making honest women out of people.
Yeah. So
that was. Yeesh.
looking at these comments.
Hey, read the Patreon questions.
Yeah. So if check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Before the Bell podcast. Our patrons dropped in some questions, and if you guys want to ask Scorpio Sky some questions as well, feel free in the chat right now. Drop a super chat, and we'll get those answered. But first up, from Daniel
Real
Zamorano.
quick before you say that though,
Oh,
I just like because I didn't really get to talk too much about Swerve as champion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happy for him.
Good.
Very happy for him. Yeah, like I even though I haven't really been able to see too much.
You're making
of
it worse.
I actually did watch Blood and Guts.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And so he had a real cool spot where they were like, he's crazy. They're just doing the staple gun and all that, like whatever. Like I don't know. And I say,
Y'all say it. You might as well.
you can't say shit. They were doing all the staple gun, all that shit. Super dope. Cool. Looks cool to see him with the belt. You know what I mean? He looks like a champion. So
Let me ask you this.
Big props.
When it comes to theme music, how much input do y'all have in theme music? Like, do you go with the guy and sit with him and be like, I don't like this? Or is it like, hey, we got a song for you. Here it is.
It's different for everybody. I have had a hand in all of my theme music. Obviously, we did the SCU stuff originally. And then Mikey Ruckus is very open to working with us. And so him and I were talking when we originally came up. Remember the song I had where it was like Reach for the Sky? And we were kind of like, we wanted something that was a little old school, like Down with the King. And that's kind of where that idea came from. And then when they did Who We Are, that album, the Cats made that song about me. I thought was super, super fresh, and I liked it a lot. And I liked it so much that I actually asked, can I use this as my entrance music? And they said, yeah. And so I was using that for a while. I had a new song in mind for one of this character.
Yeah.
Obviously we haven't used it yet, but it's very, very different from the other stuff.
You gonna play it for us after the show?
Off air, yeah.
All right,
off air. All right.
Yeah.
Shouts out to the homies Mega Ran and T Call, who've done a lot of music for AEW recently.
Yeah.
They definitely done a lot of music there, so I want to give them some love too. They
Swats.
definitely,
Those guys.
I think they're on that album too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just came out with another one. There's not a song about me on that one.
No. Well, we're gonna
questions.
We're gonna get so our Patreon questions. Number one from Daniel Zamorano. He asked, "What do you want to accomplish in the future?"
Like immediately in wrestling, obviously get back in the ring, tell some amazing stories. I hope, because for me, it's all about the storytelling. You know, I really I don't really care about matches. I was quoted like a year or so ago. I said, you know what, if I never have a great match again, I don't care. Like, I want to have great stories. I want to tell great stories.
People remember the story.
Yep.
Yeah. And moments.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
moments.
Obviously, I'm joking a little bit when I say that. It's not like I want to have bad matches.
Right.
But for me, it's more about the moments within the match and the stories. If you have great moments in a match, that's what makes the match great. And if there's a great story, it makes it even better, right? So like, you can have a 5-star match with no story, and it's like, okay, cool. And you're going to forget about it the next week because there's going to be another great match the following week. You can give me a 3-star or 2-star match with a 3-star story. You still get 5 stars, right? And that's going to feel more important than just a 5-star wrestling match.
You
That's a
remember
bar.
stories
That's a
20
bar.
years later.
Yeah. We still talk about Sheamus kicking Daniel Bryan's head off.
Come
Yeah.
on, man. We still talk about Miz and Daniel Bryan.
We still talk about
the
Kurt-
Invasion
Shawn
storyline.
Kurt and
Michaels
Shane.
and Ric Flair. I'm sorry, I love you, super. You know,
Yeah.
like those moments. That's what's important.
Who do you want a moment with that is an old school star?
Kurt Angle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Perk or Kurt?
Any form.
You can't handle
I'll
Perk.
wrestle him now.
Kurt, though?
yeah.
Ooh.
Perk Angle is a whole different monster.
Yeah,
Kurt
he's
Angle's
crazy.
crazy.
Kurt Angle is the one because I don't really have dream matches.
Yeah.
Like I don't have like oh, I want to wrestle this guy, whatever.
You breaking my heart, bro.
There's really only 2 wrestlers that I almost certainly will never wrestle that I wish I could have, especially with who I am now. Like, if I can take Scorpio Sky in 2024 and wrestle, would be Kurt Angle and John Cena. Those 2 guys, it may sound weird.
No.
Kurt Angle less than John Cena. But if you look at somebody like John Cena and me, a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh, that's a weird match. I think him and I would absolutely tear it up. And I think Kurt Angle and I would absolutely tear it up. Like, just for one, they're those guys are 2 of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
And I kind of take pride in the fact that I'm very plug and play. I can work with anybody. And I just think our styles would match really, really well. So,
well, John Cena's on his last run right now. Maybe we could get the message out there to Mr. Cena, Sky. He's got what, a year left?
He's got a year left?
yeah.
I think we should figure it out. You know,
How long
I
is
think
your contract
Forbidden
left?
Door, couple years.
Couple years?
I mean, but Cena could bop her. We could make some. He's a millionaire. We could make some arrangements, right?
True.
Get him to bop over, do some shows. I don't know.
We'll see.
Wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Next question is from Herb Bridges. Who thought of the idea of thinking it was okay for Sammy Guevara to spit in your face mid-match? Because real talk, Sammy would have real life caught this fade.
Real talk.
Herb Bridges is a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
That's his
Spit
real
in my
name.
face during a match. I don't even remember that, to be honest with you.
That's good.
But it was probably my idea. If it was, oh, you know what? I know which match you're talking about. It was when I won the TNT title. It was my idea. Yeah.
Oh.
Because it was one of those things, again, a moment. And again, he remembers it. That's a moment, right? And I was the heel, Sammy was the baby face, and Sammy, I believe he tried to do the 630 off the top to the floor through a table, and I moved, and he went crash, burned through a table. So we're doing a moment where he's really, really injured. The champion is very, very vulnerable, and I'm going after him. I'm not holding back, and he's got so much heart that when I try to stalk him and I get to him, he spits in my face. And it's just a moment of like, oh crap. And of course I ate him up after. But again, those moments.
Your cutter off that ladder, bro. I'm talking about the matches.
Yeah, the ladder
barbed
match.
wire.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. That was a clean cutter.
Man.
You're a consummate professional. I know we don't get a chance to just tell people that.
Consummate professional.
That's showmanship.
The thing about that is he got knocked out in that match. And so I was about to cut that spot because, he was rocked. He did not know where he was.
Yeah.
And, Sammy's fearless. And he, at one point, he just starts setting it up on his own. He starts climbing. I'm like, I guess we're doing it. So I'm climbing. And I wanted to go a little bit higher, but my main concern was protecting his head.
Yeah.
And making sure he landed safely. And so we made it work, and it actually ended up being a really cool spot. That's one of my favorite matches. I liked that match quite a bit. The barbed wire ladder, the crowd was incredible. The finish was great.
I moved with you with the barbed wire. I'm like,
One of my favorite moments from that match, because again, I'm talking about moments, was one side of the ladder, I'm climbing it with Ty Conti on my back. The other side of the ladder, Sammy's climbing it with Paige Van Zant on his back, and we climb, and the girls start fighting at the top. I just thought, to me, I was like, that's such a cool spot. When we came up with that, it was just like, again, that's such a cool moment, because you don't really see that with the guys climbing with the girl, because the ladder match is tough, man. You've seen everything.
Yes.
And that's why we come up with let's do a barbed wire ladder. Let's do this. Let's try to figure out things that people don't normally see in these matches.
Man, that's what's so interesting. Got another question for you that is about to happen on the after show.
Well, we do have one more in the chat.
Did you smack your lips? That was the most black girl in the hood response. Can we go to the ice cream truck? No. What?
We all do that. I mean, let's be honest. We all do that.
That is from the Beans 410. Scorpio Sky's Laker-themed TNT title was goated. Can't wait to see you back in the ring. Okay.
Please tell me you got that sitting on the mantle somewhere.
Got it in the office.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I got 2 TNT titles, the regular one and the Lakers one, Genie. And I've got a tag title, which is cool. So they were able to give me those, which was nice.
The questions are coming. If you are not a member of the Patreon, you can become one right now before the Bell podcast. Our links are everywhere. In the meantime, I want to thank everybody who's watched thus far. We can say our exits for this show before we go to the takedown. Jay Washington,
damn,
give him the spiel.
This is it? We're done?
No. We're doing after show.
Okay.
We're doing after show.
All right.
Thank you to everybody who checked out my announcement this past Tuesday. I will be performing on the Chris Jericho Rock and Wrestling Rager at the end of January. So my info for that is in my bio on my Instagram and TikTok, Mr. Jay Washington.
Yes. At Martin M. Morrow on Instagram and on TikTok. Just give me a follow there for all show information. I got a bunch of shows coming up. Brea Improv. We got Jay Watching Friends. Me, CT, Jay.
Yes,
obviously.
August 9th.
Yeah.
I was actually about to say that. I'm doing Jay Washington and Friends, guys, a.k.a. Before the Bell Live is what we're turning that into. It's happening.
Basically.
And it's going to be incredible. Jay Washington at the Hollywood Improv. In the meantime, we're going to the after show. It's time for the takedown.
Well, Sky, do you have anything you want to promote real quick?
Just follow me on Instagram, Threads if you have it. Just at Scorpio Sky. I have a TikTok, but I don't really post on it.
So you got time to be on Threads, but you ain't got time to watch scripted TV?
I mean, you could do Threads anywhere.
You son of a bitch. All right.
Yeah.
We're going straight to the takedown, man. Thank you, everybody.